Hello, everyone, and thank you, Naim, for introduction. So today you are here to hear from me something about the Czech crypto residency. Soon I'm going to explain what I mean by Czech crypto residency. However, in the very beginning, hopefully you enjoy Prague, you like it here, but one thing you probably haven't noticed yet is that you are actually in the middle of European tax haven, which can sound pretty weird because Czech Republic is not like typical offshore destination or something like BVI or other similar country. However, in my presentation, you will see like how many tax benefits, reliefs, and so on we have here. So hopefully, I'm going to persuade you that this is the correct description of Czech Republic from the tax perspective. So, what is it? I already started it. What is it? So we're going to talk about taxes here today. Czech crypto residency, we mean it's a Czech tax domicile or Czech tax residency. The correct term is the tax domicile. What is it? It is actually the regime that applies to everyone sitting here and every person. Almost everyone is actually subject to some tax law in some country, and primarily your incomes, worldwide incomes, are taxed in the country where you are domiciled in, unless there are some exemptions. For example, let's say that you are a tax resident in Germany, you'll own a flat for rent here in Prague. So most probably you will be taxed. In relation to this rent here in the Czech Republic. This is one of the exemptions. But more or less, tax domicile is your personal tax regime governed by the laws of a particular state. The laws are both national tax law. So if your tax domicile is Czech, there are Czech tax laws that set out the rules, how you become the Czech resident, who is the Czech tax resident. But also there are double taxation treaties between many countries, not between all countries. It's rather bilateral type of treaties, international treaties. But by the end of the day, they are part of the tax law of particular countries. So, for example, if you have a double taxation treaty between Czech Republic and Germany, we have also the national tax law of Germany and Czech Republic, but in like both of the legal systems, the double taxation treaty is part of it. Also, it's important to know that you can be the tax resident in multiple countries, especially if you are somehow related to two countries that don't have the double taxation treaty, but you definitely don't want to be the tax resident because that means that you might be taxed twice in some cases. Now, what are the tax benefits in Czechia? Long story short, if you're a freelancer or like independent contractor, if you own crypto, this is actually or if you're investor only, this is actually the best situation for actually the reason moving your tax domicile here to the Czech Republic. As you can see, it's capital gains relief for crypto, shares, other securities. Securities mean something, if you're Czech-speaking, it's cenné papíry. If you're German-speaking, it's Wertpapier. And in English common law culture is securities. Capital gains relief for real estate. I will explain the detail of it. For movable assets, Then there is also intra-holding income relief, which you might know from other EU laws, legal regimes from EU states. Also going to explain the detail, and this is very important, there is a favorable tax conditions for freelancers and independent contractors. Yeah? So it's not only about the reliefs, it's also about the conditions, how you are actually taxed, how your income is taxed if you're in this position. So this is the summary, and now let me explain the important details of each of the reliefs or regimes. Crypto, shares, and other securities. I'm talking about this group of instruments together because the rules here applies together. So, first of all, the capital gain relief here is designed for holding these instruments, not for income. Typically, you're a trader and generate alpha, if you're lucky. So in such a case, your income here is obviously taxed. Yeah? So let's say you made 1,000 euro a month, just to make it simple. So these 1,000 euro a month in Bitcoin are going to be taxed according to your income tax regime or income tax law. However, once taxed, if you hold the Bitcoin for more than 3 years, then the tax relief here will apply. Yeah? So be careful, it's necessary to distinguish between the income itself, even in crypto, yeah, or you can get a salary, you can get paid in crypto for your services, for a product, and holding it for a certain period or up to a certain value. Then, for these instruments, there are like two relief regimes here. First, you always start with the, it doesn't work, with the value threshold test. So, if you spend your crypto or sell your shares, whatever, up to 4,000 euro a year, which is like 100,000 Czech crowns, but I think it's better to mention the euro value. Up to this limit a year, you won't be taxed for it. Yeah, so always you start with this. Once you exceed the limit, then the question is: have you exceeded it with crypto that you hold, let's call it hold, for more than 3 years? Yes or not? If yes, then the holding period test applies to you and applies to 1,600,000 euro a year. If not, you're taxed again according to like the regime that applies to you. So let's say in general, here in the Czech Republic, it's going to be 15% up to something like 80,000 euro, and above that it's going to be 23%. Yeah, if for example you don't hold the crypto for 3 years. Yeah, but if yes, then up to the amount which is mentioned here, you're relieved. So this is basically the big news of Czech tax law of this year that you probably heard of it, and it applies to every tax resident of the Czech Republic. There is one more condition: these instruments must not be part of your business assets. So, if for some reason you included it in your business assets, it's not possible to use it, or there are some rules, specific rules for it. Obviously, this is the nice part, and then there is a part, more problematic, more difficult part, especially with non-KYC crypto. Yeah. Right now, we are actually part of the group together with Czech Cryptocurrency Association that is trying to set out the specific rules that will be applied by the tax authorities here in order not to discriminate non-KYC users, or at least to, let's say, find some solution for them. So hopefully it will happen, yeah, because well, for crypto is not that obvious and easy as with shares, yeah, because shares are either hard copied, the paper one, or they're registered in a central register, so there can be no doubt, at least here in the Czech Republic, who is the owner, or for how long do you own it, and with crypto obviously might be different. Real estate, well, if you own the real estate for at least 10 years, then there is some, let's say, general tax exemption. However, if you own it for, let's say, non-defined period, you live in it, really, like, in fact, lived in the real estate property, then you sell it with some profit and you use this profit to buy the new property you're gonna live in. It's again relief without the period. And if you don't want to use the profit for the new house or for the new apartment, then you need like 2 years of living in your apartment to get this relief. Movable assets, there are some special rules, as you can see, for cars, for ships, again for some for the property that's been included in the business assets, and beside of that, there is no period for this exclusion. Intra-holding tax relief. Basically, it means if you have a parent and subsidiary company, if the parent company has 10%, at least 10% in a subsidiary company for at least 12 months, the transfers means if you have a dividend for a subsidiary company to the parent company, or if you, or a similar income, or if you sell the share in the subsidiary company, the income again is relieved from taxes. Why you might be interested in it? Basically, this regime allows you to, let's say, build up something in the subsidiary company and then to take out the money to another company, and then it's up to decide what you're going to do with them. Yeah, but you might sell it with some property. You might have, for example, the apartment that is owned by the subsidiary company, yeah, or you can conduct some business that you wish to sell. So it's more specific, but still, there are many use cases you can use it for. Now, the most favorable regime for freelancers and independent contractors here is so-called flat rate tax scheme, paušální daň, who understands Czech. As you can see, we are talking about something between 7.5% up to 10% a month. Yeah, there are different levels. We can use it, and it covers your income tax, your health insurance, and your social security. So I would say it's pretty incomparable to like regular regimes even here in the Czech Republic. And if you combine it, the health insurance with the fact that the public health system is at very good level in the Czech Republic, and on the top of that, if you want to have, let's say, something quicker and more client-oriented within the health sector, you can pay up to something like 200, 300 euro a month for some extra, for some private provider. Just one example, Canadian Medical, for example. So this is the company that owns their own clinics. They're actually paid from the public insurance, but you pay some extra fee to have some premium access. So by the end of the day, it works, I would say, on the level of private health, private hospitals, private health sector all around the world, and it's still very cheap. There are some conditions to get this regime. You actually cannot, for example, rent out the apartment if the rent exceeds like €2,000 a year. So there are some disadvantages, but still, even like for locals here, it's a very popular option. So now. Well, if you're not a Czech citizen, if you're not already the Czech tax resident, how can you do it? Or what are the criteria? You can see the main criterions for acquiring the residency. However, there are not basically specific for the Czech Republic. Yeah, there are, these are the criteria that are standard for most of the double taxation treaties or most of the countries. Yes? So almost always you start with the permanent home, then you have the center of vital interest, habitual abode, and I'm going to explain it in more detail. Definitely, as I mentioned before, you should find a way how to eliminate or at least limit the domicile in another country. And once you meet the criteria for it, then there is an option to apply for a tax resident certificate, which brings you some clarity regarding your regime here. So permanent home. This is first and maybe most important criterion. The problem is very often the case law is pretty strict about it. So it doesn't mean that you have your own apartment where only you and your family live. It can be even the room at your parents' house, for example. So you should be pretty cautious about how to define, how to, let's say, structure it in order to be sure that your permanent home is exactly in the state where you would like to be domiciled in and not in another state. Because you might have permanent home in basically any state all around the world. So 180, I don't know how many states are now, but many. And then this is an issue because once you have more than one permanent homes, there is another criterion that is decisive, let's say, and this is the center of a vital interest. But again, it's what is it? So it's actually the country that you are tied most intensely with, so especially personally and from the economic perspective. So as you can see, again, family location, your residence, where you spend your time, your business, employment. It's not like obviously like usually it's not easy to say I have the center of vital interest only in one state. So to get to this position, it needs some preparation and some steps and effort to get there. Well, and again, if you have a center of vital interest in more than one countries, then the question is, where is your habitual abode? Long story short, let's say this is the famous 183 days. It's not that, not always you can use only this rule, but let's say this is it. Yeah. So what does it mean? if you want to be sure that you're tax resident only in the Czech Republic, you should have permanent home only in the Czech Republic. You should have a central vital interest only in the Czech Republic, and you should spend at least 183 days here, which is actually, from the perspective of national law, it is the hard criterion, because the Czech income tax law says you're either permanent resident or you spend this amount of time here. Well, then, as I mentioned, there is a chance to apply for a tax domicile certificate. I would definitely do it once you're sure you will get it, because you don't want to show yourself in front of the authorities and end up with them saying, no, we don't think that you're the resident here. It's like better to come there well prepared, and to get it, because once you get it, you have much more clarity once you file the tax return here in the Czech Republic, especially if you target some tax relief. Now, if, as an example, if you fall under the flat rate tax and you would actually use the capital gain relief for crypto up to 200,000 euro a year, you don't even have to file the tax return, which is sounds crazy, but it's like this. However, if you exceed it, if you exceed this limit, even if you are in the flat rate tax regime, you need to file, because from like this limit and above this limit, you are obliged to declare in your tax return that you had this income, even if it was relieved from tax. So that's for taxes. And if you decide to live in Czechia, what does it mean? What to expect here? So beside of the beautiful city of Prague and the beauties of the country itself, there is also a pretty low crime rate. It's very safe here, because it's like top 10 safest countries from this perspective. The public transport is not even excellent, but it's also very cheap. For example, for the whole Prague, for a 1-year ticket, you pay something like 150 euro for 1 year. Also regarding the costs, well, the rents are rising here. However, still, recently I talked to one of our clients from London, and he was still like pretty happy about what he pays here for his apartment. Healthcare system, I already mentioned that with the little effort you can get like excellent service for really nice money. There is a, I would say, good network of private schools, preschools, so even for people with families, it's doable. Crypto communities, as you can see, the Ethereum one, the Bitcoin one, and many others. And what is also important, there are expat communities, and the level of English language here is rising. So especially in big cities, Prague, Brno, you can find like more and more people you can communicate with, even if you're not Czech speaking. So, call to action. If you decide to go for it, what you should do. So first of all, you should assess your individual situation. It's always pretty individual, believe me. It might sound that it's more or less the same, but everyone has like some specifics, as you could see from the criterions that are important. The detail is important. Just need to focus on it, because imagine that you spend I don't know, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 euro in crypto, and you're targeting the tax relief. So you want to be sure that you're targeting it here so you're the tax resident of the Czech Republic, and you are eligible for the relief. Then it's about the step plan. So what we're going to do first, what is the end game? So it's the physical relocation. It often makes sense to set up the LTD company here, which is pretty quick and cheap. Obviously, to avoid the double taxation, I would strongly recommend it. And then it's about the communication strategy with tax authorities, and finally the preparation of all the documentation. Thank you for your attention. If you guys considering moving here and apply for a tax domicile in the Czech Republic, you can contact me, or you can also check our website of our law firm, where you can find more or less the summary of what I've told you today. Thank you very much, and if you have some time for questions.
Thank you, Radim. Yeah, we have time for one question, so if there is any.
Thanks for the introduction, Radim. Great to see Czech Republic offering such good conditions. Quick question, I'm really sorry if I missed that in the beginning. How do you position the Czech regulator for the crypto environment comparing to others, other countries' experience? Any good, bad? Thank you.
You mean especially in terms of MiCA and like the recent development? As far as we know right now, and I must really say we are in very, very beginning. Yeah, I will be like responsibly. I'll be able to answer this question in 2-3 years. Okay? Right now, as far as we know, they keep their promise. I think we're not going to help, and we're not going to protect somehow. Yes, so they stick with the law. They're not definitely going to be or trying to be somehow friendly or find a way how to attract more businesses here. On the other hand, they're not crazy like in terms of we want to like avoid everything related to crypto. So it's something in between. Yeah, and as I said, we will see what happens. Also, what happens in another EU member states. Yeah? Because, for example, comparing to the approach of Slovak regulator, especially before the MiCA came into effect, they were much more helpful, open to discussions, preparation, and so on. And also now, as we can see, they seem to be more open to kind of compromises, but I really want to say that with caution, because it's very early, actually.
Great, thanks. So please, everyone, give one big warm round of applause for Radim, and thank you for the great presentation.